Hi guys, this is Kimberly and you are watching Thriving on a Budget. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about how to not spend money. Even if we are trying to, coupon, even if we're trying to get things for cheap, we need to know when to say no to buying things. Um, is it something that we can make? Is it something that we can fix ourselves? Or is it something that we can do without? So that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. So first, I'm just going to brief you on, can you make it yourself? There might be things that if you're making them yourself, you can save a lot of money. And you can learn a lot of these things from YouTube. Not even necessarily from my channel. I'm not like the source of all knowledge on every topic, and I'm perfectly aware of that. But I've learned a lot of cool things to do on YouTube that have saved me a lot of money. You can learn how to make jam. You can learn how to make. So this one's not a water bath can one. This one's freezer jam. But via YouTube, I have learned how to make jam. So I can make a batch of 4 jars of jam for cheaper or about the same price as a jar of jam at the store. So that's a way to save money. I've learned how to crochet from YouTube, and that's come in handy before. Right after I had my little girl, money was super tight, but we still wanted to sometimes do things that were fun. We just had to plan for it and budget for it and figure out where we could save the money and where we could cut corners. So we went to Comic-Con when my little girl was still pretty little, and we just bought the most minimum tickets possible, and I made everybody's costumes, and it cost us very, very little. So because I learned how to crochet on YouTube, and this is not the fanciest thing that I'm going to show you, but it worked for our purpose. I crocheted this cute little R2-D2 hat. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this very well. And then there's this little tank top that I made, which it probably looks bigger than it is when it actually is on a person. It fits differently. So a little tank top thingy, a little hat, and I bought her a little skirt from the thrift store. So, very, very cheap. It's the, yarn I had, felt I believe I had, and glue sticks, and so the only thing I actually had to pay for was a $2 tutu from the thrift store, and my daughter looked adorable, and we got like so many compliments while we were at Comic-Con on her costume and how adorable she was. So that is another way for to save money. Is it something that you can make? Another costume thing, and I've done this one a couple of times, I'm going to show you, is I figured out a really cheap way to make capes. So if you're someone that's into Comic-Con, or you have kids for Halloween, or if you're into Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or anything else under the sun. So same Comic-Con, I made my husband a cape because he went as Lando Calrissian. So I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see this, and sorry if it's a tiny bit dirty or dingy. These have been in storage for a while. But I made him a cape, and I'll try to show you what I did with it. I made it out of pajama pants. And this is probably one of my favorite things that I have made up or figured out how to make, is if you get pajama pants, unwanted pajama pants, or if you have some old ones, or some at the thrift store, whatever, you want the kind with a drawstring. So I'll show you. Okay, so yeah, you're not gonna be able to see this super well, but basically, okay, think of a drawstring pair of pajama pants. I split it down the front where the drawstring is so you can still keep those drawstrings, so they're gonna be able to go around your neck, and tighten for the cape. So then you split it right there. You're also going to split the legs, and you're just going to sew everything together on those seams to make it one piece to make the cape, and then kind of hem the sides and hem the bottom. I got a little scrap of velvet from Walmart, and so their fabric section, you can just buy a tiny bit. You don't have to buy a yard of anything. So I just bought a tiny little bit of velvet, thrift store pajama pants, and I made him this really cool cape that cost very, very little. So he used this for Comic-Con. I used it for Halloween, I think a year later when I went as a Viking. I've also made one of these for one of my nephews before. They make really decent, insanely cheap capes. So things to think about. But yeah, you can learn how to make almost anything if you do the research. So can you make it yourself? Something to think about. Can you fix it yourself? So sometimes some of the expenses that we think we need to pay for, it's can we fix it ourselves? With YouTube, you can learn almost anything. There's always somebody that knows how to do something. So some of the things I have had to learn how to fix or do on YouTube. Sorry, my hair was in my eye and it was bugging me. I have learned how to fix a car door. I have learned how to light a pilot light. I have learned how to fix a vacuum, and many, many other things, and that's saved me a ton of money. So fixing the car door, what had happened is there's those little metal hooks when your door is trying to lock. So I guess the door was partially closed, whatever it was, the hook came down, but it didn't go, and it wasn't locking the door. It basically prevented us from being able to close it. And it was such a pain because I couldn't unlock it. And so I couldn't close the door. And that was driving me crazy, but I had no intention to take it to any kind of auto repair place when I figured I could fix it myself. So one of the reasons that I like to utilize YouTube as much as I do when I'm learning how to fix something, my husband is the one that taught me that. And it's something that's kind of common sense, but it's something that never occurred to me in the past. If there's something that you don't know how to fix on your computer, you can learn how to factory reset your computer if you're having some kind of like viral issues or whatever. There's so many things you can learn to do on YouTube so it can make it free for you. Or even not free, even mostly free, but sometimes even just very cheap, where instead of spending $50 on something, maybe you spend $5 to do the same thing. So the car door thing, that was huge blessing that I was able to find that video and fix the car door, and it awesome. Pilot light. When my little girl was a toddler, she thought it was cute and funny when I was doing laundry. She snuck behind me and she pushed a blinky button and she turned our pilot light off. So after a few very, very cold showers, I was not very happy, and I had to figure out how to turn the pilot light back on. You can do that on YouTube. And so I looked up how to turn my pilot light back on. And I was kind of proud of myself that it worked. The vacuum. Okay, the fact that I've been able to learn how to replace a belt in my vacuum. I've done it in my own vacuum. I've done it for other people before. Because actually buying the belt doesn't cost that much. You can sometimes get the belt for like $6, $10, as opposed to taking the vacuum in to get repaired that might cost $70 or more. It depends on where you live. But you can learn how to do anything on YouTube. So can you make it yourself? Can you fix it yourself? And then the other thing I want to talk to you about, sorry, I'm talking so fast. Can you do without? How long can you go without something? Can you go without it long term? Can you go without it until maybe you find somebody on the classifieds that's getting rid of it for free, or very, very cheap? My husband has teased me in the past because we slept on a mattress on the floor for 2 years because I wouldn't buy a bed frame. And it wasn't because I didn't want a bed frame. It's because there was other expenses that took priority, things like groceries, where the cheapest bed frame I was able to find for a queen size bed was $60. And I kept just not being able to justify it. And so I'm like, you know what? We have a bed, we're fine. We have a bed, we're fine. And we just kept sleeping on the floor, and we survived. And then one day on Facebook Classifieds, somebody was like clearing out their storage unit or their garage or something. And they're like, hey, we have this queen bed frame. If you want to come get it. And I saw it like shortly after it was posted, so I had my husband go pick it up. That's where my bed frame came from, is somebody that no longer wanted it. And that was a huge blessing, and I was super grateful. It wasn't that I didn't want to buy a bed frame. There just kept being other purchases that were more mandatory to me, like groceries. And I had a baby. And I had a baby that was in diapers. We have to, sacrifice the things we can go without for the things that we can't go without. I also remember when I downgraded my phone plan because diapers took a priority. As far as dressers go and furniture, I always buy furniture secondhand. I think I've only bought one piece of furniture brand new ever. And that's because it was like on clearance at Shopko. It was a bookcase and it wasn't expensive. But as far as dressers go, I have 5 dressers. Okay. 2 of them I got for free. One of them was gifted to us by my husband's aunt and uncle. Another one I got for free that someone had on their front lawn with a free sign because they were getting rid of it. And then the other ones I got at the local thrift store for 30 bucks or less. One of them was 30 bucks, one was 20 or 25, and one was 15. I do not spend a lot on furniture because I prioritize where I feel that my money needs to go. And I would rather spend money on building my savings account and my future for my family, as well as providing my family with food, than the non-essentials or the things I can either go without or just get secondhand. I hope that this was helpful. Oh, a couple more resources before I let you go. Groupon. Groupon can be really helpful in weird ways sometimes. Last year, I really needed to take my daughter to the dentist to just get her yearly cleaning, but we didn't have dental insurance. And so I kept trying to figure out how to do that on the cheap. And since then, I've asked more questions and I've learned more things. But if you need to go to the dentist, a good way to do that on the cheap, obviously you can talk to dental offices near you. A lot of them are willing to do payment plans just because a lot of people don't have dental insurance. So you can find out if that works for you. Or, like I said, Groupon often has dental packages where it's maybe 30 bucks, 40 bucks, whatever it is. So, and then you can use a coupon code on top of that. So when you have a Groupon coupon code and you put it on top of the cheap dental appointment, the most ones I saw, they covered 2 cleanings and an exam, and they'd also give you a discount on any dental work you needed. So, 30 bucks to get, 2 cleanings, that's not bad. It's really not. In addition to that, at the time they had some kind of deal going on Ibotta, that if you bought anything online, and if you, okay, a whole nother video, I'll have to do an Ibotta one another day. But basically, if you got to that website through Ibotta and made the online purchase, whatever the bonus was at the time, it was some kind of online purchase bonus. So I entered Groupon through Ibotta, made my purchase, used the coupon code, and I was credited $5 to my Ibotta account. All these different things stacked together for my benefit at once, and so I ended up spending $5 on taking my daughter to the dentist to get her teeth cleaned. And it wasn't even like oh, well, it's Groupon, it's not a good... No, it was a great experience. Like, that was the best pediatric dentist I have ever seen. And she had an awesome experience. Her teeth got cleaned. It cost me $5. So basically look around and try and figure out other resources rather than just always assume that what you think you have to spend on something is what you have to spend on something. This is Kimberly, and I hope this was helpful. Have an awesome day, guys. Bye.